Hello?
Hello, my name is Olafur. I'm an artist and I made a work of art called Earth Speaker. It's about giving the planet a voice through those who are going to inherit it. The people who are going to stay the longest on the planet is the kids. Earth Speaker invites kids to speak up for the planet and adults to listen to what they have to say. It collects and amplifies the ideas and concerns that the kids have about the future.
You could consider making meat in more climate-friendly materials. Just a thought.
And it makes those accessible to everyone. It's simple to use. You will see how it mirrors your face and your expressions. And then you first choose a face, you design a face, you then think about what you want to say, you record your message.
I don't want plastic inside my fish.
And then you place it where you want to have it. Your message then can join a community of other messages. See, each of these glass spheres is actually a message. So you can zoom in when you find it and tap on it, and then you can hear the message. You can pick your favorite message and then share it with your friends, and you can make your own and send it off. The kids create the messages. You as an adult, you can listen to the messages on Earthspeaker. You go to earthspeaker.art and then you sort of bundle the messages together that you think should be heard. And then you place them on the map where you think they should be listened to. So you can actually choose a place in front of a parliament building or at a famous square. These messages are there to be heard. Now everyone can see your loudspeaker in augmented reality through the Earthspeaker app. Earthspeaker is for everyone. For kids to speak up for the climate and for adults to listen to them, to take action and make their ideas real.
So as you just saw from the clip from Olafur in his own words introducing Earthspeaker, now speaking from our studio, I can give a small introduction of the history of the project and how we ended up in having an artwork involving so many languages around the EU and around the world. So the project was brought into being from the Federal Foreign Office here in Germany on the occasion of the German presidency of the EU Council. And they were quite visionary in coming to Olafur in the studio about having a participatory artwork all around the EU, but they didn't bring any other preconceived ideas of what this artwork would be. So we opened the project in a very free brainstorm of what is the role of a large artwork or a cultural project in the political sphere. So we spent a lot of time thinking about why do we have politicians? And one answer is to say that politicians' job is to think about our future. They have time in their profession to plan the future on behalf of everyone else. This is why they're elected in a way that we're focused on today, but politicians should be focused on tomorrow. This isn't always the case, so we thought that can the artwork play a role of bringing the future into political discourse? Can this be something that culture can contribute? So we thought a lot then about what is the future? If we want to bring the future into the political sphere, what is this future? And one simple answer to that is the future is the kids, the children of Europe. They have the most time ahead of them. They have the longest future to live. So from this point, we were very quickly starting to develop an artwork that was engaging all of the children around the EU. So this is a population of, depending on what age group we use, 25 to 60 million kids, or something like this. And very quickly we realized it would probably be something that takes the form of a digital platform to reach as many children as possible. Of course, knowing that the digital is not totally pervasive, but it was the best way for us to communicate and engage as many children as possible. So we had the ambition from early on to not give children a voice, but to amplify their voice. It's about hearing their voice that they already have. So we use the terms a lot in developing the artwork that we want to see, meet, and hear the children, so that we're hosting them, and if they feel well hosted in this artistic environment, then they will feel comfortable speaking. So that we're not putting words in their mouth, we're not telling them what to say, but we're hosting them so that they feel comfortable to share their message with us. And one way of hosting or meeting a child, especially a young child, is it's very important that we speak their language. So often an artwork that we're developing in the studio might be in English or in German, or maybe if we're in a show in Japan, it would be in Japanese. But in this case, we're really looking at an artwork that speaks as many languages as possible, so that when a child opens this app or has this experience, they feel that it's speaking directly to them. And we chose, we had to draw the line somewhere, the 24 official languages of the EU, and then we also included Turkish, so that we were trying to be as inclusive as possible across the continent. And we quickly learned that's already a very huge undertaking in this process, but it's also, it doesn't fully represent everyone who's on the continent, and it certainly doesn't represent all the languages around the world, not at all. So we're very excited to contribute to the conference today, to have a conversation about the role of languages and even increase the number of languages in the app. But I think first we'll start off now showing you a few messages that have already been contributed from around the EU in a variety of languages. And then Richard and Sarah will have a conversation and take you on a sort of world tour, let's say, of the different messages on our website. So, enjoy.
Minä toivon, että ihmiset miettisivät enemmän, milloin he tarvitsevat autoansa ja milloin he voivat kävellä ja pyöräillä.
Ojej, ale ja nie mogę tutaj leżeć. Muszę iść do moich plastikowych koleżanek i kolegów.
Ich habe Hunger!
Narava je zakon.
A minha mensagem era que todas as casas deviam ter painéis solares. Assim consumíamos só energia renovável.
Innaffiami, non farmi seccare, ma senza esagerare.
Bitte produziert nicht mehr so viel Müll wie früher.
Dejlig dag på stranden. Husk ikke smid skrald i vandet.
Por cada criança que nasce, devia ser plantada uma árvore.
Bald gibt es nur noch Wiesen wie diese. Keine Wildwiesen mehr und keine Wildblumen.
Protégeons la planète, c'est mon futur.
Aiutami a vivere ancora per 1000 anni.
Actually, it's not just limited to these languages that you want to hear children's voices. It's actually any language that they want, right? It's not limited to just the European Union for languages.
Yes, that's right. So the artwork is available in to be read and understood in all of these languages. So this is the official 24 languages of the EU, and we've also decided to include Turkish. But of course, the way the children can use the app, they record their message and share it with the world, and that can then be in any language that they choose.
So you can have minority voices, voices of indigenous peoples throughout Europe speaking. How about the rest of the world? Would you like to see your voices extended out of Europe?
Yes, we've already been presently surprised that we've been receiving messages from all over the globe already, and we welcome this very much. So if you like, I can take you on a little tour of the map.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
This is our website, which is earthspeaker.art. Basically, it takes you to Europe, and you can see here each little sphere is a different message. The different colours denote a different topic. And as you zoom in, you start to see that there's more and more messages. So we could zoom in here to Berlin, where we're sitting right now. You just click on one of the spheres, and you can listen to the message.
Hey Peter, wusstest du, dass dieses Papier aus Bäumen besteht?
Nein.
But this is how adults can listen to the messages of the children and kind of amplify their voices that way and really listen to what they have to say.
So they can amplify the voices. So what do they do to do that so more people can actually hear it?
You can actually click on this button, Show Loudspeakers, and loudspeakers are collections of messages that adults or anyone from the general public can assemble together and also place on the map. So you can see it looks slightly different to the symbol of the message from the child themselves. And if you click on one, you get this entire collection of messages. So this one has 455 messages already.
And so really we want to see more and more of those little balls and cloud speakers all over the world.
Yeah, and so you can search by a topic that the child has chosen, and you can also search by location. So here you can also see where we've received messages so far from all over the world, which is very exciting for us. I can give a little demonstration. We could say we want to show messages from all these different countries. And then we can share the loudspeaker and decide to put it on the studio. And then we simply drag and drop it.
Okay.
And then it will be available. And then if you have the app on your phone and you're nearby one of these speakers, you can actually view it in augmented reality and go in and listen to the messages and the voices of the children that way. And you can also share on social media and so forth.
I guess the messages then, they're coming from children. Are the children just doing these on their own, or can adults help them in creating the messages?
It would be wonderful if adults helped them. The artwork is aimed at children between 7 to 17 years of age, so really nearly all children. And of course, younger children could also be able to use it with the assistance of a parent, of a guardian. Another component is that we actually have a handful of toolkits available on the website at the moment under the Get Involved section. At the moment, there's a classroom toolkit, a library toolkit, and a museum toolkit for these different institutions to potentially use the artwork, the app, and the website through their existing programming. And there'll also be a science toolkit coming very soon as well. These toolkits are available in all the 25 languages of the artwork through the website for download. And this is a way that adults and institutions could kind of look at using the artwork with a larger group of children. So if anyone at the conference, for example, is a teacher of languages or is involved with working with children in any other way, these toolkits could give kind of ideas of how you could use the artwork in your programming. So we've already seen quite a few different schools and libraries and different sort of learning institutions utilising the artwork with groups of children.
Yeah, it seems like a very useful tool actually to make languages come alive for language students. And also it combines it with art and the environment. So many disciplines could actually be cut across to make some nice messages for this piece. And it would be great to see, obviously as somebody who loves languages, I'd love to see as many languages as possible and as many countries as possible on here. So I would definitely encourage anyone watching the presentation to get out there and talk to children. They know, whether it's family members, whether it's friends and the kids, and checking obviously to make sure that parents and children are happy to take part. But it's anonymous as well, isn't it? That's right.
It is anonymous, and the way the messages are posted, even though they are sort of physically on the map, there is a certain level of protection given to the children's privacy, that it's not posted exactly where they make the message, but there is a certain level of anonymity where it's posted. So if we go on a little world tour here, you can start to see where some of the messages are coming from all over the world. You can see this here in Australia, and we can scroll back up and we see I'm in Hawaii.
Wow.
And then we're coming back
Very nice.
Across.
And Mexico.
Yes.
Very nice.
In the south.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it's very heavily focused in Europe at the moment, as it makes sense. It should be. This is a European project coming out of the EU. But we would really love to see, really what we hope for is to receive as many messages as possible in as many different languages as possible, and all over the world in as many different locations as possible.
And I think that's why it's a perfect fit for the Polyglot Conference Global, because we're a truly global movement, global community, and we've got people who use languages in different ways all across the world. It would be lovely to see more and more of these little balls appear to represent the entire globe and have all of the children, the world's voices heard.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, the more unique, the more rare, the more indigenous or endangered the language, I think also the better. So it really gives an opportunity for the language to be heard and to be seen and understood.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I would definitely, as somebody who's very much a sort of a fighter for the rights of wanting people to have the freedom of expression in any language, indigenous, endangered, vulnerable languages of the world, and also national languages, of course. I would very much encourage anyone and everyone out there to take part and to get these languages represented on the map, because I think it's really important. So, when does the actual end date come in for this? I mean, I guess the end of the presidency, is that right? Or
It's officially running until the last day of this year. That's the official run of the German presidency. It began on the 1st of July. And we are hoping very much that if the artwork does grow as it should, then we're hoping that it can continue in the future as well.
Well, let's have a big run then and see if how many people out there will help us to make this as big as possible before the end of the year. That gives us a date to aim to. So I would definitely encourage anyone listening to this now to really put on their thinking caps and to get some really nice content out there at the end of the year to really ramp up efforts and make this whole world map glow with little balls.
Lots of little spheres. Yeah, no, that would be amazing.